Hello everyone, I have a pretty fun and informative video here today. I like comparing numbers and making spreadsheets and whatnot, and that is what I have done. I wanted to compare rare supply drops to common ones after the patch that drastically buffed the rare ones, of course, because before there was really no comparison. The rare ones were just terrible compared to opening tons of commons. I have yet to see a great comparison out there on the internet. There might be one. Hopefully I'm not repeating something that has been done, but even if there is already one out there, it's always good to add more data to the community pool of intelligence. Anyway, I'm comparing two opening videos that I made, one of 50 common drops and one of 16 rare drops. I actually didn't realize until making this that I opened 16 in that rare video, not 15, so good job counting, Sour. Anyway, to make it equal, I counted 48 of the common ones, leaving out the final two in that video, because as we all know, rares are worth 3 times more to open than a common one. It's 30 to 10, so this way you get an easy way to compare them directly. This is a regrettably small sample size. I do want to acknowledge that, and I'll be repeating this message throughout the video, that the main takeaway here shouldn't be that this is exactly correct, that these percentages and numbers perfectly represent the real odds when you're opening them, but it is enough to give a somewhat accurate idea of what's going on here. I think even with only comparing 16 of these to 48 of these, I was able to draw some very interesting logical conclusions here. I know in Advanced Warfare I waited much longer to make a similar video to this one, so I had a huge sample size of hundreds upon hundreds, and I was able to get what I thought were some very accurate numbers. But with there being a choice of opening rare or common in this game, I felt like this video would be a lot more valuable to people if made earlier, rather than waiting a few more months to be a tad bit more accurate. Okay, let's compare some of the key numbers here. I want to start, no pun intended, I want to start with the Cryptokey value, which tells a very interesting story. To get this number, I assigned each of the rarities a value, 1 for common, 3 for rare, 7 for legendary, and 10 for epic. Those aren't arbitrary, of course, I didn't just make them up. That is the value the game gives you if you redeem a duplicate item for Cryptokeys back. Now, of course, in this game, you can't choose to redeem an item just because you don't like it. Like, I don't want the Outrider Sky head theme, I'll take my 3 Cryptokeys. You can't do that at the moment. You can only burn duplicate items, and because of that, you might say this isn't the best way to compare the true value of these things, but regardless, it's the only value system the game has, so I'm using it. After adding that up and including the bonus Cryptokeys you get for opening rare drops, you actually find that you get very similar numbers. Now, don't look at these and say, well, commons are better, because I would disagree. I don't think that these are significantly different, meaning if I were to repeat this little experiment again, this could easily be flipped due to our relatively small sample size. One of these epic camos was earned in one of the final drops that I counted. If I wasn't that lucky and that didn't happen, well, suddenly rare is better. Or, you know, we never got the fabled 30 Cryptokey bonus in the rare video. If that were to happen just one time, boom, now rare is much better. In fact, if I had to take a wild guess based on other YouTube openings I've researched, I would guess that the rare ones either have a bit of an edge over the commons, or maybe these are programmed to be mathematically equal over time. That seems like a roughly logical thing to do, right? Treyarch did a thing back in Black Ops 2, I think I remember, where all the SMGs were mathematically equal if you did all the calculations involving the damage and the fire and the range and all that. I think that was a thing. I actually guessed randomly in the rare supply drop opening video that they were perhaps mathematically equal in this way before I even did this comparison, and it could be turning out that way. What that means is that if we open more and more and more of these things, as we get closer and closer to infinity crates opened, these numbers will get closer and closer to each other. If that is truly the case, haha, another pun, if they are equal in terms of value, then which one should you open? Well, if you want to collect all the commons first, then you should obviously open common crates because of the sheer number of items you're getting. But after you've collected all the commons and you find yourself just redeeming the duplicates for Cryptokeys, you might as well just be opening the rare supply drops to cut to the chase, get the good items quickly, and instead of redeeming commons for keys back, you would just be getting them back in the form of bonus Cryptokeys. These other numbers for rares, legendaries, and epics remain somewhat similar regardless. However, that is if they are actually equal, although I have a sneaking suspicion that the rares are a bit better. I think I got lucky here, earning 4 epics, 8 legendaries, and 19 rares in 48 common drops, while I feel like I could have been luckier in the rare opening. This is based off, again, what I've seen on YouTube in terms of openings, and also the percentage estimates I've made. So first I did the quick calculation to get the percentages of the drops, so you can see them here for the commons, And here, for the rares, then I just arbitrarily, I admit, rounded these numbers to more human-friendly ones, and those are what you can see below. They seem to make sense looking at them, like 77.5, 15, 5, 2.5 for commons, and then 35, 35, 20, 10 for a rare. And that would mean they quadrupled the chance for getting a legendary or epic in the rare supply drops over the common supply drops. Doesn't that just seem all user-friendly and plausible? Of course, that isn't what the data suggests. I want to make that extremely clear. The data suggests that the odds for getting an epic in a rare crate is 3 times higher, not 4 times higher, because the numbers are the same, 4 and 4. And you can open 3 of these for 1 of these, and so on. I hope I'm not being confusing, but this is just me rounding it, and I suppose projecting a bias onto the data, because based on what I've seen, I feel like if this sample size were larger, we would see a higher number of epics and legendaries in the rare drops. It also makes a bit more sense to me that saving up for a rare crate would be more rewarding. I guess that's just video game logic. I figure that if you bother to save up for a rare crate instead of taking the easy way out and opening a common drop as soon as you get 10 keys, you will be rewarded with better odds, just like they do in Zombies with the Liquid Divinium. Of course, take that with a grain of salt because it is little more than a guess. I also want to add that I'm not trying to predict what they have in the code or whatever, because I bet it isn't even a simple percentage thing, especially with the rare ones, because as you may know, you are guaranteed to get at least 1 rare or better item in a rare crate, while the common ones have no guarantee. Because of that guarantee, at least one of the items in each crate has to be operating on a different system, because if it were purely percentage chance, then you could easily get 3 commons in a rare crate, and we know that is impossible. So don't think that this is actually how the system is working, because it is not. Again, my goal with all this is not to accurately predict how they coded the supply drop system. It is to give a general idea of what your practical odds are of getting what, and I think that even with a small sample, it does a very good job at that. Now, what is the final verdict? What should you open, rare or common? Personally, I will continue to open rare supply drops, the number one reason being, though, that it makes for a good video. It is more fun to open them because you're always getting cool things instead of needing to wade through an ocean of commons to get there, even if it turns out that commons are a bit better over time, which I don't personally believe that they are. I would still open rares because I'm really going after the legendary taunts and the epic camels and the melee weapons, and the rate for those seems to remain about either the same or maybe even better in rare supply drops. Now, for people who aren't making videos opening these things though, which I'm sure is the majority, based on this little experiment, what you should take away is that it really doesn't make a huge difference either way. Whether you're opening common or rare, you're not wasting a ton of your Cryptokeys. The end result is very similar. If you want to collect commons first, open commons. If you only care about searching for epics, go for the rares. Because remember, you can't redeem commons for Cryptokeys until you collect them first. You'd probably prefer to just get the bonus Cryptokeys from the rare crate. And that's all you really have to know. Now, hopefully they don't tweak the system again anytime soon and make this video completely obsolete, but until that possibly happens, I hope this gives you a very good understanding of what is going on in terms of the chances behind the supply drops that you open. The spreadsheet I made and have been using in this video is included in the description if you want to refer to it or share it with anyone, as well as links to my opening videos I cited if you want to make sure I didn't invent the data here. I will also reply to any comments on the video to clear up any questions people may have. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.